Oh, okay. Shit. I turned my volume down on here. Oh, there it is. Now it's down.
Actually, one second.
No problem.
No problem. It won't let me go all the way, the volume all the way down on the, what do you call it? On the phones, on the
I'm gonna just
iPhone.
turn it off.
Well, what do you mean?
Turn the volume off on my phone.
Yeah, I know it won't let me go all the way down.
Hmm. Silent mode. Mm.
I'm plugging my headphones in,
No problem.
so we can't hear it. There
No
we go.
problem. Is that better? I
Perfect.
never know. Okay.
All right.
Okay.
Let me grab
All
my
right.
notes.
Okay.
All right, we're good to go.
Okay.
Ready?
How, I think so. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
What up, stuff?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah. I'm ready.
dokie.
Let's go.
All right, let's hit it.
I need new headphones. Okay. I'm ready. Let's do it. Let me go invite people. Okay.
You ready to eat some fucking tacos, bro? You ready to eat some fucking tacos, bro? Taco Tuesday! Taco Tuesday! Taco Tuesday! Taco Tuesday! Hey!
What's going on, folks? You know what day it is. It is
Taco Tuesday.
Tuesday. I'm KC,
And I'm E.
and we are Nacho
Nacho Average
Podcast.
Podcast.
Yeah. We are back, folks. We are back on another beautiful Tuesday. We are live on Facebook, YouTube, and on Instagram. Good evening, Video Chick. What's up, Nubian Splash? What up, Tree of Life? What's going on out there? So just let you guys know on Instagram that I'm gonna be playing some clips that you guys won't be able to hear because it's all going to YouTube and Facebook. So if y'all want to hop over there, that's cool too.
You can.
The views. But that's where everything is going. We're gonna have some clips and all that stuff. We're trying some new stuff. So
Okay.
this past Friday, Eva and I were like, oh man, there's so much going on in the world. So much we got this so much to talk about on the show. But
Yeah.
in the past 24 hours, a lot has happened that has just, superseded the full
Everything.
that,
Yep.
that we're going to talk about. So
Yeah.
just real quick, I mean, we could hop right into our chips and dip. Memorial Day was yesterday.
Yes.
Everyone just figured that coronavirus takes a break on holidays.
I don't know how everyone figured that, but it was definitely the case. Like, people definitely thought because it was a holiday, they was immune and they could not catch this virus that's going around. And unfortunately, due to the fact that a lot of people did feel that way, the numbers grew in 24 hours.
Yeah. What do you have the numbers on you?
The numbers are 1,006.
Yeah. And that's almost half of the cases that happened yesterday in all of California.
Exactly.
So in LA County, the numbers went up.
Yes.
Up 1,006 cases. And California altogether, it was like 230 something. So
it was under 250 in California.
Yeah.
Right.
So
but in LA County alone, it went up, and that has a lot to do with as Gavin, as our governor, Governor Newsom is rolling out the different phases. He once again has said that beauty salons, nail salons, and barber shops still cannot open in LA County. He is opening them in other counties. But in Los Angeles County, he is not opening them because the numbers are just on a constant rise. And you also have to remember, we're not getting the most accurate numbers. Like, you know, they still have the issue with some of the tests not coming back in a timely manner. They said some of the tests are not actually working. Like, they'll give the person that, you know, they'll use the test and then it comes back, you know, can't read, or it didn't read it. So we're still not getting the most accurate numbers. I think they're giving us numbers, you know, and the numbers are growing and they're going off what they get. But you do have to take in mind the numbers Casey and I are giving you may not be the most accurate numbers that how LA County had, how many they had in a 24-hour span, because it's a strong possibility we don't have the most accurate numbers. We can only tell you the numbers that's given to us.
Right.
So it's not always the most accurate number. So people really need to keep that in mind. I do understand the social distancing is, you know, getting under people's skin. I do understand people want to go outside, but you have to still, you know, mind all this, what's going on, because as of today, they still do not have a vaccine for this. You know, and I'm not a big promoter of vaccines on a personal level, but they still are trying to, you know, get a vaccine. And the governor does want the world to move, you know, back in the, you know, where the economy is booming, but we have to move slowly.
And this is my thing with everyone saying, you know, oh, the economy's dead, blah, 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 blah. Like, we need to get the economy going. The economy is still alive and well. That's what the stimulus checks were for, to stimulate the economy so people can still pay their bills, people can still do what they need to do. Like, people are still buying things, people are still getting more unemployment or more money in unemployment than they were when and they're not, you know, they're still spending, they're shopping online, they're doing all this stuff. So the economy is still going. The only thing that's missing is people don't have the opportunity to be waited on right now. People can't go to a restaurant and have someone wait on them. People, you know, it's like people, like the economy is still going, it's still rotating, it's still thriving. It's probably doing more now because people have more money in their pockets than they ever have. You know what I'm saying? So like I said before, if you come out of this quarantine period broke, something's wrong with you.
Agreed. And you know, like Casey said, besides the fine dining, like you can't go into a restaurant. A lot of restaurants still have curbside service. You know, a lot of restaurants still are doing curbside service, and a lot of places, they just opened a lot of retail stores in Los Angeles County. Gavin has said that a lot of stores can open, not just the big ones, not just the Targets and Walmarts of the world, but you do have to stand in line. You do have to have on your mask. Even inside the store, they want you to practice, you know, the 6 feet of social distancing. If you're not with someone that you came in the store with, they want you to be mindful, you know, the aisles and, you know, how far you should be from people and everything. So he's doing it slowly. He's doing it slowly. But what happened yesterday just gives you a reason why he's doing it slowly, because our beaches and everything was full, and that wasn't part of the whole social distancing thing.
And people were just chilling, posted up when it was like you had to stay active. You had either swimming, surfing, or running or walking. Like, no setting, and everybody was set up shop. We had people
was tanning. They were they was out there tanning.
Pool parties. We had people on yacht parties. Like, it was crazy. Floyd Mayweather had a big
he had a huge party.
Yeah, well, he had a day party at a hotel in Scottsdale, Arizona. And then that night, he had a party at a club. Clubs are open, I guess.
Yes.
Nobody with masks, nobody with gloves, full to capacity because clubs have been closed and everybody's just been waiting for an opportunity to get out.
Wanting to get outside.
Yeah, and it's the holiday on top of that. So we'll see what those cases look like. But then all those people that went to Arizona from LA, they just coming right back to LA. So
with something. So you just need to be mindful. You know, you really need to be mindful, you guys.
2003 or 2008, either way, 1006. 1006 cases yesterday. It went
one day.
Up.
Yeah.
Come on now. Come on, people.
So people just have to be mindful. It's not, It's not over.
Just stop being
as much as people want it to be over, it's not over, you guys.
I have people that was like, "Well, I did my part." No, the part is still being done. Like our part is we still
Shop is free. Shop is free. He said, if everybody unemployed, every day is a holiday.
Right. Exactly. And you got money to spend.
Real talk. You got money to burn. You at home all day.
But our part is still going. Like this whole thing has just been trial and error. Nothing about this has been have been absolutely positive. We haven't been absolutely positive about anything. We're just trying to figure it out. We haven't dealt with anything like this.
And that's what people have to realize. There is no protocol. You know, there is no protocol to this. You know, this is new for everyone. You know, so you have to be mindful of that. Like Casey was saying, you definitely have to be mindful of that. And, you know, we wanted to drop that in because like Casey started off the show letting you guys know we have a lot to touch, you know, especially things that's happened within the last 24 hours. Casey and I both really want to discuss that. So we're going to move on, you know, but we definitely want to let you guys know that the coronavirus is still here.
Yeah, it's still here, guys.
It is still here, you guys. So let's just be mindful of the actions and the moves that we're making. And I just want to hop in and out and talk about Biden, our Democratic nominee, a presidential candidate. You know, he's the candidate. I said, no, he's the candidate. And he just did an interview last week on The Breakfast Club. But he technically just did the interview with See the God. But it was considered a Breakfast Club interview, but it was only him and See the God. I'm sure everybody has seen the one particular part that I want to speak on. And it just goes to show you how important voting actually is. And don't get me wrong, I know this election, it's a lot of like, what's the lesser evil of the two? But at the same time, let's just know what we're getting ourselves into. Like, if you want to vote for who you want to vote for, you know, because once again, I don't tell you who to vote for. Know what you're getting yourselves into. Understand the individual that you're voting for. On this particular interview with See the God, See the God was asking him questions. He wanted to understand, what is Joe Biden going to do for the community, our community, the African American community, the Black and Brown community, the minority community.
Did he actually started that whole dialogue when he said, we're going to hold our votes. You're not going to get an automatic vote from the Black people. That's not how it's going to work. You have to, what are we going to get? You have to offer something. You have to put something on the table. So
you can't. Exactly. He didn't want him just to say this, lift every voice and sing, you know, campaign that he has going on, you know, bullet pointed. Like, what are you going to do? Like, what are you going to do? And one thing he really wanted him to do, I'm sure a lot of you are familiar with the fact, and if you aren't, back in 1994, when the presidential candidate, Joe Biden was his senator, I think he was a senator back then. He really pushed this crime bill. It was back in 1994. This crime bill put a lot of people of color in jail for very minor and minute things. You know, the three strike law had, you know, really came into play, and people was getting that third strike for non-offensive or non-violent things. I'm sorry, non-violent things.
Non-violent crimes.
And Joe Biden was really behind this. If I'm not mistaken, he wrote the bill. Like he was. This was something he really wanted. So when Hillary Clinton was running for president 4 years ago, she went on The Breakfast Club, and See the God asked her about this particular bill because she backed this bill back in 1994. She also backed this bill, and he asked her, and I can't remember word per word, and I don't have it in front of me because I have everything on right now. But she basically said, looking back, the bill wasn't as great as I thought it was. It did have some issues, and some things about the bill was not positive. Right. Looking back at that now, because this was 4 years ago, this bill happened in 1994. Looking back at that now, some changes should have been made, and I was wrong. And I take responsibility for that. And like I said, those wasn't her exact words, but she definitely said she was wrong. She takes responsibility for it, and reflecting back, it wasn't the best bill. That is what Hillary Clinton did say 4 years ago. So now that Joe Biden is up, it's his turn, and we all know he, you know, it was his bill. So See the God went to ask him, you know, when we asked, you know, former runner Hillary Clinton, she took accountability and responsibility and said this bill wasn't the best bill. How do you feel about it? What do you think? And he kind just put it in his court so he could say what he thinks. But honestly, let's just call it what it is. We wanted him to be very similar to what Hillary said. We wanted him to say something very similar. Take responsibility for the fact you put a lot of, dads and uncles and brothers in jail for very, small things. Take responsibility for that. Well,
I mean, that was one of the things that we talked about when Kamala was running, about how many
exactly. Look at her history in Oakland. Look at her history in Oakland. So, see the God ask. First thing the Democratic candidate does is say, it wasn't the bill. This was not the bill. It was. He went to deflect and he talked about other things that it was, but he never actually took responsibility for this bill that he wrote and he created, and all these people he put in jail and he put behind bars, and it was very angering. So then you could tell the person was telling See the God, we have to wrap up the interview. The interview needed to be wrapped up. So See the God was just saying, we're going to come back. We still have a lot of questions for the community. It's still some things we want to, we would love to have you on the show, eventually. And then Joe Biden decides, I guess he's, in rare form, he's feeling good about his interview with See the God. And then he goes on to say, basically, if you have to think about voting for me or Trump, then you ain't black. As if
black.
Yeah, as if automatically because you're an African American, you cannot vote for Trump. You must vote for him. And like I said, I know it's the lesser of the two evils on the ticket, but let's just be knowledgeable about the two evils that we have on this ticket. Why would he say something like that? And when he said it, he did not think he was wrong. He honestly didn't think anything was wrong with what he said. I think the PR people behind him was flipping the fuck out. What the hell did you just say? And later on in the afternoon, the PR people did write a response and apologize, but he never thought he was wrong. And he never thought his bill did what in fact his bill did do. His bill put a lot of people of color in jail. Yeah. He knew exactly what the bill was doing. So once again, you guys, as always, I'm gonna let I'm gonna tell you, we have to vote. Our vote does matter, but you guys, we have to do our homework on these candidates. As of now, it is still not a strong yes on who he is choosing as his VP. As soon as that comes out,
there were plenty of African American women that he knows what to say. He knows what to say. He knows what to say, hands down.
Oh, all the time. And I just want people to be knowledgeable about, the person who's going to be in that office, because if you look at that 94 crime bill, I can guarantee you within 4 to 5 people, somebody who was affected by it, somebody whose dad went to jail, brother, uncle.
In California.
Yeah, it was no doubt. It was no doubt. Yeah. So let's just be mindful of who we're voting for. I just like I said, I just want to touch on that and let you know that Casey and I did see that, but we're going to move right on forward out of our chips and dip.
A lot of Black people have been put in jail because of this bill, because we know as Black people in America, the police aren't necessarily on our side, and they're not really here to protect us. For a lot of people, they are used as a weapon against us.
Exactly.
For any petty thing. If they don't like what we do or what we say, they can call the police, and automatically we're public enemy number one. So recently in New York in Central Park, there was a young lady walking her dog without a leash, and posted everywhere in the park are the rules saying you must have your dogs leashed. Now,
in this particular part of the park, it was just in this particular part of the park that they wanted your dog leashed.
Now, a Black man had seen this and asked her to to put her dog on a leash. Now, any other time, if it was flipped and it was a Black man walking his dog without a leash, that would be an uproar. The police would be called then too. Police would be called then too. But this man just asked her if she could, put a dog on a leash, and this is what happened. 1 second.
Sir, I'm asking you to stop.
Please don't come close to me.
Sir, I'm asking you to stop recording me.
Please don't come close to me.
Please take your phone off.
Please don't come close to me.
It's recording off.
Please call the cops. Please call the cops.
I'm going to tell them there's an African American man threatening my life.
Please tell them whatever you like.
Excuse me?
Unbelievable.
Now watch the acting job. Watch the acting
Oh yeah,
job.
she killed it.
He's recording me and threatening me and my dog. There is an African American man. I am in Central Park. He is recording me and threatening myself and my dog. And my
That poor dog.
The poor dog.
I'm being threatened by a man in the Rambo.
Now the dog is like, please keep filming. Keep filming.
Please, because you're killing me out here.
Show this to the cops. So
Exactly.
yeah, so she said, you know, she called the police pretty much.
Mhm.
And for all the people on Instagram Live, we are now on YouTube and on Facebook. So everyone on YouTube and Facebook watching this with us, they see all of this happening on their screen.
Right.
Or that it's not hooked up to this anymore. Once Eva and I are able to come back together on the same studio, then we'll be able to have
Then everybody can see it. Yeah.
But for the time being, YouTube Live at Taco Tuesday, the Taco Tuesday podcast, and on Facebook Live at Taco Tuesday.
Taco Tuesday.
See it all. But yeah, it's crazy because we see this way too often. We see white women primarily calling the cops on black people for any type of reason. Any reason. For a little girl in waters in the corner, you know, for people playing their music too loud, people barbecuing in the park that they've been barbecuing at.
Kids selling lemonade.
Yeah.
I mean, but what's crazy is if you see the video, you can definitely tell she knew how to act on that phone. She knew how to sound scared and say there's a black man threatening her and her dog. You know, just it's crazy to me that they take their white privilege and flip it when they are in the wrong. They are most definitely in the wrong, but yet flip it and want the police to come out to protect them instead of the person who they're actually, you know, making a victim. You know, all this guy was bird watching, which he's an avid bird watcher. This is what he does. This is his thing. This is what he does early in the morning at this particular part of Central Park. Central Park is,
I don't know. A black man bird watching in New York? I don't know. That's a little sketch.
That's what he said.
All right. Maybe.
That is what he said. I thought it was weird, but that's what he said. But more importantly, Central Park is a very big park. I don't know if a lot of people know it's a huge park. So it's certain parts of Central Park your dog can be off the leash, but that's not one of them because it's a lot of bushes. You have a lot of tall trees, and you know the dog can come around and somebody can be there, and the dog can attack, and you way behind the dog. Hence, that's why in this particular part of Central Park, they want you to have your dog on a leash. All he was asking her was to abide by the rules that the state put in place.
Which she would have asked him to do if he had his dog without a leash. She would have been quick to do that.
Exactly. That's all this man was asking her to do. And then you see she gets on here and does a complete Oscar-winning performance, you know, to say that this African-American man is harming her. Mind you, she's choking the hell out of this goddamn dog. Right. You know, as of now, as we all know, they have taken the dog from her. Yeah. You know, she's killing the dog.
K9 Karen had the dog that she rescued him from.
Yes.
And, she's talking about how her life has been turned upside down and ruined because of this, and want us to feel sorry for her. And she gave this bullshit apology saying, "I'm sorry if you felt like I'm sorry if." You felt
you're not sorry. You're not sorry.
You're not saying you did anything wrong. You're saying the way that they felt was wrong. You know?
Yeah.
Her job let her go. Which is
she did get fired.
She tweeted about it.
Yeah. They came out real quick that they put her on suspension. Shortly after they put her on suspension, they fired her. They let her go.
Amazing detectives, because what they did was not only did they find where she got the dog from, they found who she got the dog from and reported her. And posted that on social media. They found her LinkedIn page, found her job and posted her company on social media, and then went on to the Wikipedia of the company and put the situation and under like a star pupil and put her name and put the situation that happened and the Wikipedia for the company. So
and she lost her job. She's gone.
We are good. Kudos to us, man.
Amazing. You know, and like Casey said, she's apologizing now. She's apologizing now, but she's not sorry. She's sorry she got caught. She's sorry it worked out the way it did. You know, if they had taken her side, she wouldn't be sorry at all. But this man didn't do anything wrong.
And this is the thing. If the police had come and he didn't have the video, then he would have ended up a casualty. Very easily.
He could have been a hashtag also.
Far too often there are people. I mean, look at Emmett Till. Emmett Till didn't have a video camera.
No.
You know, and a white woman said that he whistled at him and he got
and that was it.
Dragged and thrown in the river.
Exactly.
Like, come on now. Like he didn't have history. This has been happening for centuries.
Exactly.
And it's still happening. And thank God that we have cameras, but why should we have to be on why should we have to be on watch at all time? Why should we have to be on guard at all time?
Every day, all day.
That's the sad part about it.
Yeah.
Like we have to be on watch at all time. We have to have our cameras. So essentially we're living in fear. You know, we walk out of our door, and this is something that we knew already. You know, like it's something that you had to talk with your son about. Your son who's a black man. You know,
constantly. My son's never been to the military and don't have PTSD. Like,
right, exactly.
You can have PTSD from this because it's constantly something that's on your neck. It's constantly something that's on your back. You just don't know how somebody say they're coming to help, and you don't know if the people who are coming to help or harm. Even though they're in this uniform and they're supposed to be helping you, you're so terrified. And if you don't have your camera already in your hand and you put your camera in your hand, it's like I may lose my life because they're going to say I was grabbing something else. So at this moment, if you're not walking with your camera in your hand, you pray to God somebody else is getting all this footage, you know, because somebody has to prove that I didn't do what they're going to say I did. It wasn't my fault that they're going to take my life, but they're definitely about to take my life because there's no camera in my hand. When there's no camera in the actual person's hand, they feel like it's free. It's free. Like, oh, we can go for it. But you never know who's videotaping. Like now we all have to be on alert.
You go and reach for your camera, and you got to, and that's reaching for a weapon.
Exactly.
You know, like if you reach for your phone.
Exactly.
We like us as a culture have PTSD.
Yes.
We've had PTSD, and it's passed down from our parents, passed down from our grandparents. We are a culture that has not healed from slavery.
No,
we're
not
still
at all.
Stuff. We're still being raised the same way. We still have to deal with the same stuff in society. We're still eating the same food. You know, we are like, and this stuff gets passed down. This stress gets passed down genetically. It's like it takes a toll on your body. You know,
sure,
ingrained in you, and we are born automatically with this situation.
Yep.
Like, how do we get rid of it? How do we break from that? Infinity, Deontay Williams, what up, man? Long time no see. He said, when black people get sick and tired of being sick and tired, they'll take action using the Malcolm X rule. But here's the thing, though. How do we take action?
But what's the action? Yeah.
Okay, we're gonna get to that, Infinity. We're gonna get to that. Yesterday, or actually today, there was a situation where a man was, the cops were called because a man was trying to write a fraudulent check. Not a big thing. He wasn't being violent. He wasn't being outrageous and sporadic and, just causing a scene. He tried to sign a check that wasn't his, apparently. So fraudulent behavior. George Floyd is his name.
Yes.
He is no longer with us because in the process of him being arrested, he lost his life.
Yep.
Not by gun. It wasn't like we're fearing for our life type situation. I'm gonna pull my gun and boom. He was subdued by the police and held down on the ground, handcuffed, with the police officer's knee on the back of his neck. All pressure on him. He said continuously, I can't breathe. I can't breathe. Your knee, my neck, please.
My stomach, my neck.
Called for his mama plenty of times. People around videotaping said, yo, bro, he can't breathe. He's done. You know, he even said himself, I'm done. And the cop kept saying, just get in the car. Get in the car. He's like, I can't
He
move.
can't move.
While he has his knee on it, you know what? Let's just go to it.
Yep.
Let's go to it.
I'm about to die to see. Relax. Man, I can't breathe in my face. You know. I can't breathe. Please be in my dick. I can't breathe.
Bro, get up, get in the car, man.
I will.
Get up, get in the car.
I can't move.
I've been waiting the whole time, man. Just get up, get in the car.
Mama.
Get up, get in the car right.
I can't.
I gave y'all the opportunity to get in, bro. I told you can't win.
My knee.
You can't win, man.
That's he a tough guy. He not even resisting arrest, bro.
His whole nose.
You fought with him?
Now notice he said, get in the car, get in the car. How?
How?
The hell can he get in the car right now?
Exactly.
And then his partner said, that's why you don't do drugs, kids. What does drugs have anything to do with this right now?
Nothing.
Put him in the car.
Nothing. Absolutely nothing.
I'm not going to show the whole thing because
It's hard to watch.
And
yeah.
It'll just piss me off. But yeah.
What happened? I lost you.
It's
there you go.
Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, complete evil. That's all it was. He sat there with his hand on his hip, with his crouched down on this guy with his hand on his hip, just chilling.
7 minutes.
For 7 minutes.
7 minutes.
You telling me at no point in time in the 7 minutes that you had this handcuffed man on the ground, did you think, okay, maybe he can get up? Maybe at the point where he actually stopped breathing and went limp. Maybe at that point you heard him going from I can't breathe to nothing. Maybe
silence.
That's fine, or maybe how about the people that were around you that said, bro, he's not breathing. He's not responsive. How about that part? There were so many times in this video where you could have stopped. They didn't even check his pulse. There was a lady there who was a firefighter. She said, I'm a firefighter. I'm a first responder. Can I please check his wrist? Can I please check for his pulse?
No.
And the partner said, get on the he pushed her and said, get on the sidewalk. This is someone. This is her job to do this.
Exactly.
It's upsetting because this guy is kneeling on this man's neck. Now there was a whole uproar when Kaepernick took a kneel on the field, and nothing with us right now. We don't hear anyone on that side saying how bad it was. Now the thing is, there was even a period of time before, between the cop realized that it wasn't a period of time. It was a small second between when the cop realized that he was gone and that George was gone, and when the paramedics came to put him on the stretcher, because he did not let up until the paramedics came. This man was lifeless on the ground, and he still stayed on him to prove a fucking point. Staring at everyone.
He died on that video.
Yeah.
He died on that video.
And you can see a puddle coming from him. You know what that puddle is? When you die, everything releases. It's a wrap. Everything releases when you die. He died. We watched this man die on this video. Sit there and stare at people like, and
exactly.
What? So my question, Infinity, is with in this situation, where do we step in? Because there was a point where people tried to go forward, and his partner pushed him back onto the
He
sidewalk.
pushed him.
Because
Yeah.
they're not officers. They don't have that right. I mean, a lot of
and I agree with Infinity that
a lot of rights don't have, because he had the right to remain silent, but he didn't use that right because he kept saying, "I can't breathe."
well, he couldn't breathe.
Yeah.
But I agree with him with Infinity that something has to happen. But the question is, how do we go about it? Because the thing is, I think a lot of people are tired. You know, I think a lot of people are very tired of seeing this. We're very tired of a hashtag. Like literally a week ago, Casey and I was talking about Breonna Taylor. And now it's 7 days later. And we have a new hashtag, a new name. And I agree, marching and crying won't stop it, but we have to figure out how to implement ourselves where what we do matters. Because one person can't do it. Like everybody, you know, when something goes wrong, everybody reaches out to Sean King, you know, Tamika Mallory, like but one or two people can't do this. One or two people can't change this. It's a shift. Everybody, everybody, all colors, all minorities, we all have to, you know, make that shift to make this really change and to stay and to be a permanent change. And my question is, how do we do that? Because it is infuriating to constantly see this. That it is very, very angering.
Infinity says, but there were people of color who stood around and didn't do anything. What do you do? You saw them go forward. And he went for his gun, and his partner went for his mace. One of the girls says he grabbed his mace. What do? They're cops, civilians. Like, it sounds great to say it right now. Oh, I wish a motherfucker would, but in the situation,
but really, what do you really do?
Right.
Yeah, because it was one cop on his neck, but it was 4 cops at that scene. It was 4 officers at that scene. So that's 3 guns. You know, mind you, the guy that was, you know, kneeling and had his neck on him, that, you know, his hands were still very mobile to move. So what do you do if you're trying to save someone else or stop some injustice happening? You're about to lose your life.
Right. You would have been a hashtag.
Now you're the hashtag. Like
hashtag Infinity Deontay Williams and whoever else tried to hop in, and they will be because you're attacking an officer of the law.
And that's how they're going to look at it. And that's what it's going to go down saying you did. It's not going to go down saying you was helping the person who was actually on the ground, you know, who you were helping, the person who became a victim. They're going to say you attacked an officer, or you know, and it's going to, the story's going to flip, you know. And I do agree we need to come together and do something. You know, these officers, at first I think they was put on leave, and eventually I think they all did lose their job. They have all been let go. The mayor in Minneapolis has came out and definitely said, you know, this was not called for. You know, he took action very fast. He took action faster than most politicians have. You know, so I will give him that. But just what do you do?
Because how many times has happened without a video?
Exactly.
That's my thing.
Exactly.
How many times has happened without a video, and those officers stay on paid leave, which is what they were put on originally.
Well, that's what they were. And then he let them go afterwards.
Home on paid leave right now. Everybody's at home on unemployment. So they're just like, you know, doing what everybody else is doing.
Exactly.
You know, and it got some steam. And so now it's like, okay, yeah, we're going to get rid of them. But we don't need you to get rid of them. They need to go to prison because we watched them. The world watched them murder a man in cold blood. And sat there on him while he was dead. Sat there.
And see, I agree with KC. A lot of people are missing the point. They murdered him.
Yeah.
Like, everybody's like, well, they got fired. They need to go to jail.
Yeah.
They murdered him. That man murdered him. That man killed him.
Even with protocol, you know, no matter what, you got to try to resuscitate them. They didn't even try to do that.
They didn't even try.
The paramedics came. I didn't show this part of the video because I can't right now because this would go downhill.
Right.
But even in the video, when the paramedics came, all they did was rolled him onto the rolled and dragged his body onto the stretcher and put him in the ambulance. They knew he was done.
Oh, the paramedics knew.
Yeah, they knew he was done.
Yeah, the paramedics knew. The officer knew because it became silent. Like you saw it happen. Okay, Infinity Deontay Williams says, the police will not just shoot every single person on the street. I would have tried to pull the cop off. Well, we get ready for a civil war. I'm willing to die for my people, and I get that not everyone is cut to do what I'm saying to do.
Okay, Infinity. So I mean, we'll see. I'm just gonna say we'll see. But yeah,
It was rough to watch, and
it's very easier said than done.
yeah, it's rough to watch, and it's just angering from so many different aspects. You just see that video and you just get angry. Mind you, this isn't even this man's home. He's from Houston.
Right.
He was out there on business, and like Casey said, he was writing a bad check. We get it, but the crime and the punishment just doesn't fit. It just
Right.
doesn't fit. Like once you got him down, you have the handcuffs on him. I understand some articles I read, they said he was a little intoxicated. He was talking back a little. Like I said, I didn't see that in the video, but if that did happen, eventually he was quiet. Eventually he stopped.
This is what I read. I'm not sure how real it is, but I read it on a few different sources. It said that he was mourning the death of his mother, who died on this day.
Okay.
So of course he's not in this right state of mind.
No, it's not a good day for him.
Drinks, whatever. And yes, he did. I saw the video from the other, from before they like the video I just showed, or the video before that of him resisting arrest. But once you get him on the ground, handcuffed, it's a done deal.
Yeah, it was.
But you're this man that you're sitting on, whose neck you're kneeling on, saying, "Get in the car, get in the car." How?
Yeah.
And then you sit there after he's gone, after he's dead, and just sit there with no remorse.
No, none. Absolutely no remorse whatsoever. And so it's just angering, and like Casey and I, we both just frustrated because this constantly becomes our top topic on here. And it's, like I said, literally 7 days ago, we were speaking about a young lady, and look where we are now. 7 days later, it's another person we're talking about, and it's exhausting. It is mentally draining to constantly discuss this, and it's real and it's happening on a daily basis.
Yeah. I feel like we have to just, one thing that would help is if people with influence, especially our allies that are outside of our culture, the people that make money from our culture, the people that, make money as rappers or musicians and actually influencers that use our culture every single day, that have millions of followers, say something, speak up, try to bring awareness, try to use their voice to make change. I mean, that's the only thing I could think. Like Affinity's like, when Dr. King marched, he knew there was a chance that he could be killed or taken to jail, but you would have to be willing to take that on. Yeah, I'm willing to go to jail, but I'm not going to die when I know there's so much work that I could do otherwise.
Okay. Crystal Wood said, I'm not saying what the cops did was supportive to that, but people in law also said the way they took him down with 4 cops was not the proper training. And that is something Casey and I have actually spoke about. A lot of times when these things go down, it is not the proper training. It is not the way they were actually taught in basic training camp to do things. They just took it upon themselves to do things now, and they're getting, ridiculous with it, and they don't give a damn anymore with it. That's the problem, because they may have had the correct training, but they don't care anymore. They don't give a damn anymore, and sometimes it's like they don't even give a damn if they're being recorded. Like they can see you holding. He knew the man was holding the phone.
He knew what was staring at the camera. He knew. And Infinity, Deontay Williams, on trying to do something physically. Steven Jackson. Steven Jackson, who's an NBA ex-NBA All-Star. Apparently, he's one of George's close family friends.
Okay.
And he has a podcast as well. And he went on today and said this.
Like, sound fucked up, and I want it to sound fucked up. I want it to sound fucked up because it is fucked up. You just take my boy life, and what we supposed to do? What is family supposed to do? Just move on, Hope you go to jail. Hope they punish you for killing my boy. Why we can't just kill you? Why, that's the justice we want, because we can't get nothing back. So the cops should die too. Y'all just killing people for no reason. The only justice is taking y'all life. But they're not going to do that. They're not going to give y'all the death penalty. They give people death penalty for other shit, but they're not going to give y'all the death penalty for killing nobody, huh? All right. Bet that.
I feel his pain, man.
So, yeah, it's pretty much saying for those on IG that the only way to get back is to get them back, take their life. And automatically that's not a good look for Black people, period.
No, because they're going to shoot back.
They're going to shoot back. Also going to spend life in prison.
Yeah, they're going to shoot back. They're going to shoot back. It's no doubt. I do agree something needs to get done, and I understand where the anger stems from. Where you say you want to fight this, you want to do this, but at the same time, it's got to be a different way. It's got to be a better way. What that way is, I don't know, but I do know when that way is discovered or when that way comes, to the forefront, it has to be a lot of us behind it. It has to be a movement. It has to shift. The world has to shift, or these hashtags are going to become regular.
Deontay says Civil War. Our Infinity says Civil War. Now, if that happens, how many of us are registered gun owners?
True.
How many of us not only are registered gun owners, but are trained registered gun owners?
Exactly.
So that's the most important thing. If you have a gun and you don't know how to use it, you're useless.
Yeah. What are you going to do? How are you going to help?
Yeah. So let me shout out Redstone Firearms and Van Nuys, who is one of the only Black-owned gun ranges and gun shops in California. Actually, I think there's only like 3 Black-owned gun stores in California, and they are one of them. They do full training. They'll teach you how to use your gun. They'll do tactical training. They actually do like the field, like they go out and they do obstacles and stuff like that. They would teach you everything you need to know, because a gun in the hand of someone that's uneducated on using the gun is pointless.
Very dangerous. Yeah, very dangerous.
Redstone Firearms. Look them up, folks.
Ashley Anderson says one of the things that candidates for the position of officer have to do is a psych evaluation. Are they not doing these anymore? Does the evaluation need to change? How can the system be changed from the hiring process? And I agree.
Well, a psych evaluation just give if you say that they're not mentally fit, that's just an excuse for what they're doing. These people
but they shouldn't actually become a cop.
But I'm saying by saying that, they're saying you're saying that he might not have been mentally fit to have his job. He's mentally fit. He's just evil as fuck. That's all it is. He has lots of hate.
Okay.
That's what that is.
Okay.
There's no mental illness there. He knew what he was doing. He stared at the camera the whole time, watching them with his hand on his hip and his knee in this man's neck.
7 minutes.
That was just evil.
Yep.
7 minutes.
That's a long time.
Evil.
Yeah,
not
that's
mental.
evil. That's evil. That's evil for sure. And the thing is, you have to realize some of these, people always want to say, racism isn't the problem. Or yes, it is, you guys. It's the root of it. It's the root of it.
Yeah.
There is no other reason why this man treated this other man like this. He didn't know this man. He had an issue with this man's color. He had an issue with this man being who he is. Racism is alive and well.
Right.
And what people don't sometimes want to admit is because of the person that we have in the White House now, and because of the politicians that we have in the forefront right now, not only are races feeling and embodied that they can come out, they're breeding other races.
Yeah.
Racism is taught. You're not born racist. No one's born that way. It is a taught.
We're still having Klan marches.
Exactly. It is taught.
Marching with hoods and everything. Like in my city, had a rally in my city, marching up and down the street. That's not that long ago. They still do this. They're still alive. They're still well. And a lot of them just don't wear the capes anymore.
Exactly.
Badges instead of hoods.
And they're just in positions of power. They're in positions of power. So one of the things that can be said that we need to do is we need to, position ourselves to be in positions of power. so we can fight these people back. Don't get me wrong. I get the Civil War. I get the fighting. I get the guns. But it is a better way to get a handle of this. But we have to do it together. We have to come collectively together as a group, as a people. And we have to do this. If you put yourself in the positions that make the rules, if you put yourself in the positions that put the laws down, if you put yourself in those positions, then you can actually spark a change. But until that time and point, you can have this civil war, you can have these guns. That's not going to change shit. That's just going to make more people die. More people are going to be dead. It's going to be more hashtags.
Exactly.
If you really want to change something, you have to be in control of it. And to be in control of it is to have power over it. And that is what the fuck we're missing. We're missing the power players. That is what the fuck is happening. That.
Speaking of sparking change, this hard show sparking up hookah.
I was really trying to be quiet over here.
No, that's a sound clip right there. That's our soundbite right there. That's what I'm talking about, Eva.
I was really trying to be quiet, you guys.
This is your show. Don't be quiet.
But that's how it. And nobody wants to say that because people always want to say, "Oh, Black people, we need to be in power." We need that. We need to have our voices heard. We need somebody who's off of 45th and Central. We need somebody who grew up in the jungles. We need somebody who know Watts. We need those people who grew up in those places. So when they hear shit, they go, "No, that's not how it went down. No, that don't sound right. No, that's not how we work out there."
Exactly.
You know, some people don't understand our jargon. They don't understand our lingo, but we get each other's lingo.
Yeah, you're policing the community.
We get each other's shit.
You're speaking. You're in a community that speaks a whole different language than you do.
Exactly.
You know
Exactly.
something that's just regular, and you might take it as a threat. You know, like they don't understand.
They don't get us.
Don't understand.
They don't get us. You know,
and people like you don't understand. I'm not gonna, as a chef, I'm not gonna go to a family that speaks all Russian and try to work for them. I don't understand them.
No.
They're supposed to protect and serve this community. If you don't understand them, then how the hell can you protect and serve them? How can you serve them if you don't know what the issue is? If you don't know what the reason is?
Exactly. And that's the case. Like Erin, my girlfriend Erin just said, we're not the judges. Have you ever actually, been in court and you see the case going down and you look at the jury and you know the jury doesn't relate to that person? They just their lifestyle, the way they're talking, the way it all happened. The jury just can't get it. It doesn't make sense to the jurors. And because of things like that, people are going to jail. And and we've been taught to hate jury duty. Don't ever do jury duty. But the thing is, if we're not there to represent that person, because maybe that person did fuck up, maybe they did something, but did they deserve what they're trying to give them? But if we're not there to speak in that room to those 11 other jurors, who's gonna do it? Who the fuck is supposed to do it if we don't do it? We're always saying the next person, or we need somebody. Well, goddamn it, be the person. Stand up, figure it out.
He said it's not about training to use a gun. There's so much I want to say, but because there's no freedom of speech on Facebook, Black people will never be completely in a position of, even if they're in a position of power. So that's going against everything that you've been saying. You've been saying we need to do something, we need to take action, but then you're saying we'll never be able to. Like we'll never be in power. So that you're kind of just killing it, like right off the bat.
we have to keep pressing the envelope.
Yeah, you got to stop.
Just saying
the reason why saying that we'll never be in power is why we stay in slave mentality. That's why people stay in slave. I'm not gonna say Kanye slavery was a choice, but they mentally made us feel like there was no way to get out of slavery, even though there were number them by the hundreds.
Exactly. Exactly.
So that's just that same slave mentality, saying that there's no way we can get in a position of power.
But we can. We can. We can try, and that's unfortunately that's what the younger generation feels the same way. I don't know how old you are, but I know people younger than me. They're just like, well, what's the point? The point is you tried. The point is you may actually succeed.
Between you and I,
huh?
Yeah, he's between you and I.
Oh yeah, the point is you tried. And that beats a fail every fucking time. I promise you it does. You have to try. You have to try. If we don't try, then it's never going to change because everybody's going to feel like, well, I can't do it. I'm not the one to do it. I'm not the person to make the change. I'm not the person who could do it. But you don't know. You just may be the exact person.
Because even Obama wasn't in control. So, yeah, I get that.
Well, politics is shitty. It's a lot of puppet masters.
Yeah.
You know, but you got to
let you guys know real quick on Instagram. You guys might get cut off soon. And we're not going to come back on Instagram, but you guys can come over to YouTube at Taco Tuesday Podcast. This is too much going on. So you can go to Taco Tuesday Podcast or on YouTube or go to the Facebook Taco Tuesday page. All right. But keep rocking with us until it cuts off.
Yeah. I didn't know he was going to say that. He caught me off guard. You know, I do understand it's a lot of puppet masters, and I do understand how politics works. I'm actually ridiculously knowledgeable about it. And I know it's a lot of bullshit. It's a lot of red tape. You know, I get that. But we got to get in the game. I mean, we got to get in the game because if we don't, there'll never be a shift, and we will continue being a hashtag. And like I said, this shit is exhausting.
Continue walking on eggshells. Continue. I can count on two hands how many times I've been pulled over while walking for no reason. Walking while black, WWB. Like, that's all it is. You know what I'm saying? Like, and then you get to the point where ingrained in us is the fight or flight, right?
Yeah.
When the police come, because we know what happens when police come. This shit happens, you know. So ingrained in the fight or flight, and so when people run from the when they flight, you know, when they run from the scene, then they get shot in the back. And why did they get shot? Because they were running. I've definitely run from the cops before. 2006. I went back home for Christmas. Me, my girlfriend at the time, my sister, my god sister, we all ended up running from the cops. Like it's what happens because we know what happens when we are confronted by the cops.
Yeah,
it can go wrong, it can go right, and go wrong, but most of the time it's going to go wrong.
Yeah, our life is based on their day. If they're having a good day, we can have a good moment. If they're having a bad day, they just had an argument, some shit just went wrong, and then they pull us over. Shit, we fought. You know, our life is based on their day.
He said I grew up in the middle of the hood in Chicago, and where I live, the police never came to our hood. But the place I'm talking about was right outside. It was at Club Nitro. You know exactly where Club Nitro is in Chicago. That's where we were going to the club. We were at a gas station, and the cops pulled up on us for being outside.
That's crazy.
But anyway, we want to thank you guys for that. We got to, should we give them the bill, Eva?
We can give them the bill. I'll be calm. Get the bill.
Thank you guys for sticking with us, man.
Man, most definitely. So we started off talking about the coronavirus. You know, that was definitely our tips and dips. We wanted to let you guys know after Memorial Day, you know, the numbers and everything did go up 1,006. You know, for the coronavirus in a matter of 24 hours in LA County alone. So we need to be mindful that the coronavirus is still here, you guys. COVID-19, whatever you're calling it, it's here. It is still here. It has not left. It is here. So let's just still be mindful. They are opening up slowly, but we still need to be mindful. We still need to, boost our immune system up. We still need to wear our mask, and we still need to adhere to the 6-foot social distancing. 6 feet apart and, small gatherings and social distancing. After that, you guys know we had to touch that Biden and see the God interview because, if you black, then you're supposed to be voting for Biden, far as Biden's concerned. If you have to think about who you're voting for, then you ain't black. Well, I'm ridiculously black, and I still have to think about who I'm going to vote for because I don't like neither one of you motherfuckers. So, you got to take that in mind. Like I said, you guys, we have to do our homework. Whoever we put in this chair, whoever we put in that White House, we need to know their thoughts. We need to know what they think, and we need to be ready for whatever the hell they may be bringing to us as a country, as a nation.
22 seconds on Instagram.
Okay. Well, we're going to leave you guys. I'm so sorry, but I am doing the bill. And after I talked about Biden, we jumped right in and we talked about bird watching while black. We had to talk about what went down at Central Park in New York City. This woman called Thank you. This woman calls the police on us, just because he asked her to put a leash on her dog, which was lost. She should have had the leash on her dog in this part of the park. But she felt the need to say, you know what, I'm white, I'm right, and I don't need a leash on my dog. I'm going to call the cops on you.
Right.
And she did go as far as calling the police on him, but the police did not they did not arrest him. I don't even think the police came out. I've never seen any footage of the cops actually showing up at Central Park. But if you listen to the call that she made, which everybody on Facebook and YouTube can see when Casey posted it, she then changed her voice and tried to sound frightened and scared, like this man was attacking. Mind you, in the video, this man is back. He's telling her to stay away from him. You know, she's coming up on him. He never, ever once tried to approach her. And then we ended it off. We had to talk about George Floyd. We had to talk about what happened in the last 24 hours. This man wrote a bad check. He was grieving the death of his mother on her heaven anniversary. It seems like she passed away on this day. And it was just a tough day for him. And because he was having a tough day and some things happened that wasn't going in his direction, the cops was called on this man. This man lost his life in the middle of the street by the knee of an officer. It was videoed. We saw this man become lifeless right before our eyes. And personally, the video was very, very difficult for me to watch. I did not enjoy watching it. I watched it in completion one time. And I have no desire to ever see it again. So, you know, Casey and I just really, really want to, you know, get that point across. We know something needs to be done. You know, in Taco Tuesday, anybody who know Casey and I, you know, we'll be front runners. Like, we'll be there. Like, we want to see something done, but we have to get organized and we have to do it properly. And it can be done, but we have to unite. We have to unite. We have to unite. You know, I am so tired of every 7 days coming on this podcast telling you guys new hashtag.
Press the people that call themselves our allies, use their voices as well. You know,
we need that. We need that.
Takashi 69.
Yeah, we need that.
That's that motherfucker that's making money off of us every single day.
Because it's an actual meme, and then I'll let Casey take us out, that says, for people that are non-Black, how are you teaching your kids so they don't hurt mine? You know, like, what are you doing to implement, you know, good characteristics in your children so when they do become adults in this world, they won't hurt my children? Right. You know, because our children are of two different ethnicities. Our children are two different cultures. Our children are not the same when you look at them. Even though technically they may be just alike, but they're not the same when they're visually. They're two different people. So what are you doing to make sure your child doesn't harm my child for any reason at all? Like, what are you doing? And sometimes you have to ask yourself that as an adult, as a mother, as a mentor, as a teacher, as a grandparent, as an aunt, an uncle, whatever title you hold, whatever little people is in your life, be very mindful. You influence them. Yes, you influence them. So be mindful of that, you guys. Be mindful of that. And you know, that is our bill this week.
Yes. Thank you, Eva. You did it so eloquently. Thank you.
Of course.
As always, guys, you can follow us on IG and on Twitter at Taco Tuesday 365. We are on Twitter right now, so you know, make sure you add us, follow us, keep track of what's going on.
Yeah, repost us.
Yeah, it's IG and Twitter, both are the same. Taco Tuesday 365, and make sure you subscribe to us on YouTube at the Taco Tuesday podcast. All right, very easy. Talk-O-Tuesday. I guess that's kind of complicated. Podcast.
Not really.
But subscribe, because we only have like 10 subscribers. We know we had at least 30 people watching this right now. So, so please, guys, add, subscribe, like, comment, watch. You know, there's lots of cool footage on the YouTube channel from live events.
Definitely, from our lives. Yes.
More to come. So, yeah.
Funny.
Infinity says, ever since I've seen Roots, I've had
I saw Roots when I was 5.
No, yeah, I was a little boy. I was like, the whole set. You know what I'm saying? Like all what was it, like 7 tapes?
It was like tons of them.
Yeah. But I feel you, man. But yeah, guys. And also, if you have any questions, comments, anything that you want to talk to us about, you can hit us on Instagram, or you can email us at tacotuesdayla@gmail.com.
Most definitely. All right? Okay.
We love you guys.
Thank you so much for tuning in.
Yes, I am Casey.
And I am E.
And we are
Nacho Average Podcast. Good night, you guys.
Yeah.
By the system I was raised, same system that enslaved us and took us out the world. Same system I was trained to put my hand across my heart and pledge allegiance to the